For me lang, personally, I have nothing against those people who voted for the PDP Laban. Ang sa akin lang is kontento ako sa result. Kasi, it would be a revelation kung ano talaga yung priorities ni Bam Aquino and ni Kiko Pangilinan. Now that they are able to be part of the top 12 sa Senate, ano ba talaga? Are they going to fulfill their promises na gagawa sila ng mga legislations para sa mga farmers, para sa mga students, ganyan? Or ang uunahin nila ang impeachment case ni VP Sara? Because if that is the case, ma-judge natin sila, ma-assess natin sila kung ano ba, are they just parang, ano tayo? Parang yung mga campaign nila, sorry, sobrang nabusog ako guys, hindi ako makapag-isip. Parang yung campaign platform nila is just a platform and they don't wanna do it kasi nakaprayo ang ano nila, nakaprayo yung impeachment of VP Sara. Pero yun nga, it would reveal them. So, ang ibig po sabihin ng grave abuse of discretion is hindi na follow yung mga legal and factual, parang there is no legal and factual basis sa desisyon ng judge. So, dapat ang titingnan natin ngayon, ano ba ang naging desisyon ng judge? So, ang sinabi lang doon sa reversal ng Court of Appeals is yung sa recantation daw ng witness, ganyan, hindi daw na-mention. So, pinapabalik lang daw ng Court of Appeals para explain daw ng judge yung judgment niya. Pero, ang hindi nila naintindihan is ang fact na may grave abuse of discretion nga. So there is no factual or legal basis sa ginawa na daw ng judge. Yan yung allegation. Yun yung issues na ni-raise ng Court of Appeals. Now, if ma-find out natin, if the judge cannot parang defend himself about the decision he made, so dun siya i-judge ng Court of Appeals na mali pala talaga yung decision mo. Now, when the Court of Appeals finds out na the decision is really, there is grave abuse of discretion on that matter, so wala. Hindi ma-acquit si Laila de Lima. That means to say na mag-continue yung kaso niya. So, final na ang results nga gipakita sa COMELEC kanina, and I posted already the votes, the tally na nagaling sa COMELEC. So yun na yung natin, yun na yung top 12 natin. So one of the arguments kasi na nakikita ko ngayon is ano ang mangyayari daw sa Senate kasi si Angara, if I'm not mistaken, siya yung umalis siya sa pwesto niya sa Senate tapos naging siya ngayon, Department of Education Secretary, tama di ba? So hindi, kailangan ata, if I'm not mistaken correct me if I'm wrong, I think hindi pwede iakyat ang top 13 just to fill in the vacancy sa Senate. It needs a special election if I'm not mistaken on that aspect. Tapos yun. So for the meantime, the Senate can operate or can function even if lack of one sila or may vacant na if my memory still serves me right. Yan yung So hindi dapat ma-worry guys na aakyat si Ben Tulfo para makomplete lang yung sa loob ng yung seats sa Senate. Well, anyway, thank you on behalf of the Duterte family guys. I'd like to say thank you for all your support. Grabe, overwhelming. It shows na we really have the number. We have the supporters, real supporters. We have the warm bodies during elections. So nakikita natin yan. And it also shows that the Duterte magic, is still there. Okay, so one big example actually is yung sa gubernatorial election sa Cebu. So as you can see, Gwen Garcia is very powerful, di ba? Marami siyang mga unions, mga alliances dyan One Cebu, tapos she endorse the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas. Tapos naging siya, as leaker siya ni Bongbong Marcos, ni Martin Romualdez. Tapos she turned her back against the Dutertes. So ang nangyari, pinakita ng mga taga Cebu na the Duterte magic is still there. It's still alive. It just need to be it needs to be awakened lang. So, yon ang election ang nagpagising sa lahat ng mga DDS, lahat ng mga Duterte supporters sa Cebu. Kaya yan tuloy with a very limited machinery, Pambari 4 won the governor seat sa Cebu. At ngayon, wala na si Gwen. Tapos funny because first pinapabayad si Gwen ng HSBC sa personal na utang niya. I forgot the number. Millions din yon. Defiant siya. Next issue sa kanya ay yung order ng na prevention order, suspension order ng ombudsman, defiant siya. Nagpatulong pa kay BBM, nagpagawa pa ng statement, kumuha pa ng mga statement of support coming from different groups, ganyan, walang effect. And now, yung election na naman, kitang-kita naman ang ano ng agwat nila ni Pambari 4. But then again, Gwen, gusto niya na din si hindi niya matanggap ang na natalo siya ni Pambari 4 kasi nga Gwen, she thinks na she's very powerful. What she failed to realize is the fact na during elections, it's not the politician. During elections, it's all about the people. It's about the voters. So yun, pinakita ng taga Cebu, ng Cebu province na Duterte talaga yung sinusupport nila. Kitang-kita din naman natin 'yan sa votes na nakuha ng mga PDP laban senatoriables dahil ang top 5 ata is nasa PDP. Even sa Mindanao, nasa PDP ang top 5. So, we have the numbers na Cebu province, Cebu City, we have vote-rich vote-rich city. We have Davao, we have Manila with Mayor Isko Moreno. Kaso sa Manila, medyo ganyan yung numbers. Parang kasi pumapasok si Bam, pumapasok din si Kiko. Pero Bongo pa rin yung nangunguna. So ito yung masasabi ko guys na maliwanag na ang sa 2028. Ang dapat lang nating tupagin ngayon or yung iprayo natin is our support to VP Sara when it comes to her impeachment case. Kaya ngayon naghanap sila ng paraan na mabuo yung prosecution team ng House of Representatives. So ito si Tambi, tumawag na kay Laila, tumawag na kay Chel Jokno to be part of the prosecution team. Unfortunately, kasi pa-epal So yun, na-find out na si Laila de Lima pala, sorry, yung acquittal niya sa ni-reverse pala ng Court of Appeals. So ni-remand yung case sa RTC kasi there is grave abuse of discretion amounting to excess or to lack or excess of jurisdiction. So yan yung sinabi ng Court of Appeals kanina. Basa muna ako ng comment. Gwen is a loser. Yeah. Ang perfume lang sa luyubos. Maklaro di akong perfume. Klaro di akong perfume. Eyeglasses lang ako Hello. Sandali. Mag-manual recount on that sir kay murag na adjud lagi. So yeah, so speaking of manual recount, parang somehow ako contented man ako sa results sa election. Pero ang hindi ko maintindihan because most of the Duterte supporters kasi nag-block voting tayo, nag-vote straight tayo. So if we look at the bigger picture, if Bongo was able to get 27 million of votes, so dapat sana yung members ng PDP laban dapat nasa 20, 22, 20, 29, 19, 18, parang ganyan. Pero sobrang layo So 27 si Bongo, 20 si Bato de la Rosa, tapos followed by Marcoleta around 15 million. Then Jimmy Bondoc 10 million ganyan. So may kung nag-black vote tayo, 'di ba? We can ask the COMELEC bakit naging ganun yung results na nag-black vote naman tayo. I don't know if ano yung ginagawa ng PDP laban ngayon. But if I may suggest, dapat i-question nila 'yan. Pero for me lang personally, I have nothing against those people who voted for the PDP laban. Ang sa akin lang is kontento ako sa result. Kasi it would be a revelation kung ano talaga yung priorities ni Bam Aquino and ni Kiko Pangilinan. Now that they are able to be part of the top 12 sa Senate, ano ba talaga? Are they going to fulfill their promises na gagawa sila ng mga legislations para sa mga farmers, para sa mga students, ganyan? Or ang uunahin nila ang impeachment case ni VP Sara? Because if that is the case, ma-judge natin sila, ma-assess natin sila kung ano ba, are they just parang, parang yung mga campaign nila, sorry, sobrang nabusog ako guys, hindi ako makapag-isip. Parang yung campaign platform nila is just a platform and they don't wanna do it kasi nakaprayo nakaprayo yung impeachment of VP Sara. Pero yun nga, it would reveal them. Sana, hello dong. Okay. What else ba? So speaking of Dilima, so kanina I mentioned about Dilima, 'di ba? So ang sinasabi ng mga ang sinasabi ng mga supporters nila is wala naman daw hindi naman daw sinabi there is no discussion daw ng Court of Appeal sa merit of the case. True naman, tama naman 'yun. It's because wala naman talaga dapat na discussion. Kasi yung petition is petition for Rule 65, if I'm not mistaken, petition for certiorari. Tapos ang naging ano nila is yung grave abuse of discretion nga. Tapos when we talk about grave abuse of discretion, guys, it talks, ano siya, parang under the law, para bang capricious, whimsical, yan yung ano parang definition nila, capricious, whimsical, and may arbitrary yung naging decision ng isang judge. So, pwede siyang i-question ng court. So, ang ibig po sabihin ng grave abuse of discretion is hindi na follow yung mga legal and factual, parang there is no legal and factual basis sa, decision ng judge. So, dapat ang titingnan natin ngayon, ano ba ang naging desisyon ng judge? So, ang sinabi lang doon sa reversal ng Court of Appeals is yung sa recantation daw ng witness, ganyan, hindi daw na-mention. So, pinapabalik lang daw ng Court of Appeals para explain daw ng judge yung judgment niya. Pero, ang hindi nila naintindihan is ang fact na may grave abuse of discretion nga. So, there is no factual or legal basis sa ginawa na daw ng judge. Yan yung allegation. Yun yung issues na ni-raise ng Court of Appeals. Now, if ma-find out natin, if the judge cannot parang defend himself about the decision he made, so, dun siya i-judge ng Court of Appeals na mali pala talaga yung decision mo. Now, when the Court of Appeals finds out na the decision is really, there is grave abuse of discretion on that matter, so, wala. Hindi ma-acquit si Laila de Lima. That means to say na mag-continue yung kaso niya. Yan yung point. Tapos walang nagdi-discuss ng mga lawyers sa kanila sa aspect na yan because maybe they wanted to control the narrative about Laila de Lima. Pero yan yun, guys. So although it's sige, pagbigyan natin, okay, let's give it to them na it's a procedural lapse lang. Pero the point is, pag na-find out na mali ngayon, 'di ba? So maku-question yung validity ng acquittal ni De Lima. So yan yung main point doon. Ito yung sinasabi ko. So may nag-comment from Jerry Mandin, grave abuse of discretion is when a public official or body acts in capricious, whimsical, and arbitrary manner. So yan yung sinabi ko kanina. And that amounts to an evasion of positive duty or a virtual refusal to perform a duty enjoined by law. It is more than just a simple error in judgment. It involves a blatant disregard for legal standard or established procedures. Yan nga yung point ko because dapat ang makikita nga natin in order for us to assess whether or not there is grave abuse of discretion talaga is makikita natin yung entire decision ng judge about sa case ni De Lima. Because pag makita natin doon tapos na find out natin na okay, tama pala ang Court of Appeals na wala pala talagang legal and factual basis yung pinagsasabi ng judge dito. So, meaning null and void ang acquittal ni Laila de Lima. Meaning, pwede siyang makulong. Pwede siyang makulong because null and void means hindi siya acquitted to begin with. Right? So, here. Sir, favor naman, pakisagot ragod si Jam Magno. Unsa naman po na si Jam? Basa mo na ako. Okay. Naunsa ang habeas corpus ni Katie? There is no update yet from the Supreme Court, guys. Yan din yung question ko bakit wala pa? Tapos speaking of the Supreme Court, supposedly, yung yung oral argument ng whether or not the General Appropriations Act is constitutional, dapat sana May 19. So, ano na ba ngayon? 15? So, we have 4 days na lang sana. 16 bukas. So, 3 days na sana. Dapat may oral arguments na sa GAA. Pero pinuspone na naman ng Supreme Court. Hindi ko alam kung ano talaga yung purpose nila. I'm excited sana ako na mangyayari na siya on the 19th. Why? Because talo na si Stella Kimbo. One of the people na pinatawag ng Supreme Court is si Stella Kimbo. So dapat makita natin ba if magaling talaga si Stella Kimbo, if she's not hiding behind the power of Martin Romualdez, kung matalino talaga siya, of course, she can defend herself before the Supreme Court. Pero pag nagmamagaling lang siya, so, possibly, makukulong din siya, di ba? Graft and corruption. Basta ako, Sir Tio. Saan yan? Ang bilis mag-ana ang comment, oh. Dali lang, ha? I came across this post sa Campus Journ, Sir Tio. Tapos, sana yun? Unsa imuhang thought send ako sa PM kay dili ka comment og screenshot. Is this still journalism? Okay, later. Ang lobat yung isang phone ko, hindi ko mabasa. Basta ako, sir, gusto ko makita si Bam nahihirapan ng desisyon sa harap-harapan ba niya tatraido rin ang kakamping or tatraido rin ang pag-endorse. Okay, speaking of Bam, Guys, ganito daw, allegedly this information does not come from me. Allegedly, ang reason as to why the INC endorsed him, it's because anti-impeachment daw si Bam. So, ano yan alphabetical yan. If I'm not mistaken again, alphabetical yan pag nagvo-vote ka na for impeachment. So, Aquino, of course, nangunguna siya. Now, ang decision ni Bam, for example, if anti-impeachment talaga siya, if he would vote no to the conviction of VP Sara, the kakampings would consider it as a betrayal to them. Kasi itong mga kakampings, they really want VP Sara out from office. They want her to be perpetually disqualified from holding a public position. So, yan yung gusto nila Now, Bam is torn between two choices na. Either to impeach VP Sara just to satisfy the affective filter of the kakamping nations, the kakamping cult, or vote against the impeachment of VP Sara to fulfill his alleged negotiation with the Iglesia ni Cristo. So, interesting, right? Pero ang point dyan is, I don't think really na matutuloy yung impeachment because 2025 na ngayon, tapos yung submission of evidence and everything, it would take more or less 2 to 3 months or minsan nga 6 months pa yan kasi i-review pa yan lahat before the trial talaga. Now, ang point ko is, ano na ngayon? July mag-start yung new Congress. July, August, September, October, November, December. 5 months. 2026, start of the 2028 elections na yan. That time, mag-group na yung mga tao, yung mga politiko, mag-a-alliance na yan sila. So, tulad ng Uniteam in 2022, for example, the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas, just recently. So, in 2026, magsa-start na yan. Tapos, yung yung politicians coming from the different camps, for example, the Kakampings, the DDS, ano pa ba? Yung mga political parties like the PFP, the Lakas CMD, PDP Laban. So, magno-nominate na naman yan sila for their candidates sa senators and sa vice president or president. Hindi na yan. So, mahihirapan na sila na igapang pa yung impeachment ni VP Sara because the trial would really take around maybe 3 to 6 months. So, they need a year to impeach VP Sara. Tapos ngayon, sa nakikita natin, maraming mga congressmen na nanalo na in-endorse ni VP Sara or tinulungan ni VP Sara. So, the possibility would be there will be a change sa speakership sa House of Representatives. And if that happens, if by majority ang mapipili ay somehow aligned sa mga Dutertes, so for sure, may magpa-file talaga yan ng impeachment against BBM. Now, if may magpa-file ng impeachment against BBM, of course, igagapang yan ng House of Representatives para maipasa nila sa Senate. Now, dalawang impeachment na ang kukunin ng Senate. VP Sara and BBM. And do you think that would be impossible? Ano ba? Magtra-trial na lang everyday yung mga senators natin, hindi na sila gagawa ng batas. So, it would be difficult on their part. Kaya ako, I'm very confident nga, kaya I'm so happy with the results sa election because it shows na we have the numbers, we have the support, we have the grassroots supporters, mga ganyan. So, klarong-klaro na hindi na ma-impeach si VP Sara. Yan. Out of topic, pero dahil very respectful ang mga Duterte sa libingan ng mga bayani, kung si BBM President si VP Inday, ipalibing ba niya kaya ito sa libingan ng bayani or itatapon sa West Philippine Sea? I don't know. I can't comment on that. Okay. Ano pa? Ang kapal naman ng mukha ng isang kakamping, mag-assume na sa kanila galing lahat ang votes ni Bam, what the, hindi. Guys, if you're reading me if naka-follow kayo or nakasali kayo sa broadcast channel ko, doon ko sinisend yung link ng mga analysis ko. And this is how I see the votes ng mga kakampings. In 2016, around 14 million lang ata don't quote me on the figure. I'm just giving you an example. In 2016, if I'm not mistaken, Lenny only has 12 million votes against BBM. Parang ganyan, 12 for 14 million votes. In 2022, it did not grow. Like, hindi siya nag-increase. It did not increase. So, Lenny has 14 million votes in 2022 against BBM na 30 million, ganyan. So, meaning to say, guys, yung voters na nakuha ni Lenny in 2016 are the same voters who believe in her in 2022. That's 14 million voters. Now, in 2022 also, Risa Hontiveros received 15 million votes coming, so that's the kakamping support, okay? In 2022. Now, si Kiko din ata is 9 million in 2022. But now, walang representative ang walang other representative ang Liberal Party. And BAM, ha? Okay, take note, BAM is no longer part of the Liberal Party. Hindi na siya LP, hindi na siya yellow, kundi nasa koalisyon ng KNP, na coalition. It's a coalition, it's a group ang ni-represent ni BAM, and siya ang naging chairman doon. Kaya very strategic si BAM. So anong nangyari? Si Kiko, same number, 9 million, so may increase ngayon. So okay, given. Kasi siya lang yung sa Liberal Party. So lahat ng mga voters ni Risa, mga supporters ni Lenny, kumampi kay Kiko, kaya nakakuha siya ng around 15 million this 2025 elections. Si BAM, okay, bigay natin na nasa 12 to 14 million siya. But because he is publicly endorsed by the INC, so yun, one of the reasons bakit nag-increase yung votes niya. Kaya umabot siya ng 20 million ngayon. So if we were to compare the vote counts of Lenny, Risa Hontiveros, and BAM, BAM has the number. So technically, kung gusto nilang may tatakbong president sa 2028, it would be BAM. That's why they are building the character of BAM, the image of BAM. They are trying to, there's an ongoing build up about BAM's achievements, about his backgrounds, educational background, professional background, legislative works, and all those things. Kasi nga, si BAM yung mas marketable compared to them. So, either it would be BAM and Risa, because si Lenny for sure magsi-second term pa yan as mayor, because if Lenny will run against, for example, if VP Sara wala, talo talaga si Lenny. So, naghanap sila ng mas malakas pa kay Lenny and mas marketable, and that is BAM. And honestly, tama naman. Si BAM naman talaga ang medyo sa kanila. Ganyan. Second is this. Hindi na beat ng mga kakamping ang votes ni Bongo. In 2019, Bongo has around 20 million voters. Okay, yeah, 20 million. And now, it went up to 27 million. And that means, may nakuhang new voters si Bongo na 7 million. And 7 million is already a very, very big number. Okay? But the 27 million of Bongo falls short compared to the 32 million votes that VP Sara has gotten last 2022 elections. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 5 million votes. Now guys, chances are either it would be Sara Bongo, Sabong, because yan yung nilakad ni PRRD before. So 27 plus 32, big number. 27 million kay Bongo, ang lamang ni VP 5 million. So either kukuha ng 5 million additional votes si Bongo, or mag-share siya ng votes kay VP if sila yung tatakbo. So we still have the number, guys. Don't worry. Ang i-worry na lang talaga natin ngayon is kung paano nila i-politicize ang impeachment case. Kasi ang impeachment, guys, it's a political exercise. Hindi yan katulad sa korte na mga judge talaga, mga lawyers, alam nila yung rules of evidence, alam nila yung batas and everything, how are the legal frameworks applicable to this case, ganyan. Hindi. Sa Senate kasi, hindi. Political exercise yan. Kung ayaw niya sa'yo, okay, i-vote kita, ma-impeach ka, perpetually disqualified from holding a public office. Now, ang mga senators, guys, they will not risk themselves demonizing the 32 million voters of VP Sara. Because nga guys, VP Sara is duly elected Vice President of the country. She has the highest or the biggest mandate so far that has ever happened in Philippine history. So siya pa lang yung nakakuha ng pinakamataas na votes. Wala pang record breaker yan si VP Sara. Now, if the senators who will act as judges during the impeachment, if they will vote yes to the conviction of VP Sara, then that means they are pushing away the 32 million the 32 million voters of VP Sara. And 32 million, guys, is the highest mandate ever happened in political history of the Philippines. So yan yung i-consider nila. Now, ang point ko dito, guys, is tayo na mga supporters ni VP Sara or yung mga naniniwala kay VP Sara, tayo talaga ang may say sa impeachment. So we should show the senators na without us, they won't be able to get a seat in 2028 too, because kakalabanin natin lahat sila. Okay? Ang sa impeachment din guys, even if it's a political exercise, ang mangyayari dyan, yung mga senators, nakikinig yan sila sa pulse ng mass. Kung ano yung pulso ng masa. Ano bang sinasabi ng masa ngayon? VP Sara is the most trusted and most approved national official. So kakalabanin nila yan. Kaya sa nakikita natin ngayon, sure vote na tayo to acquit VP Sara. We have Bato, we have Bongo, we also have Robin Padilla. So that's 3. And of course, for sure guys, believe it or not, Amy Marcos would say no to the impeachment. We have also Camille Villar. So we have 5 already. We have Mark Villar because he works under the administration of Tatay Digong as the Secretary of DPWH. So we have 6. So unsure pa tayo sa iba guys. Pero itong 6 talaga, itong mga pangalan, remember these names guys. They will not vote yes to the impeachment of VP Sara. So we have 6 secured votes already for her acquittal. And she only needs 9. So 3 more. And alam na natin guys, we still have the Cayetano, di ba? Alan and Pia. They have always been supportive of the Dutertes. The Estrada even said na wala naman nangyari sa Pilipinas when they tried to impeach my father. So why are we doing that to the Vice President now? Yan yung sinabi niya non-verbatim. So we have enough number sa Senate. Ang ngayon guys, dapat we should rally together to get more support from the House of Representatives. And what we should do is to continue expose the anomalies or the controversies that are currently happening in the House of Representatives so that the support that Romualdez is getting from his ilks in the HOR will be gone or will be weakened. Because pag ma-shoo na natin away Martin Romualdez as Speaker of the House of Representatives, tapos if makakuha tayo ng new speaker that is somehow aligned to the DDS, the DDS camp, it would be easier for us guys to file an impeachment case against BBM. Now, if by God's grace that path will be followed, so for sure guys, may nag-start na inunahan na ng Duterte youth, meaning to say may mga willing talaga to file an impeachment case against BBM. And what's good about this impeachment guys is the fact na may evidence. The evidence, the pieces of evidence are clear. And the grounds for impeachment against BBM are not fabricated. These are blatant violations or culpable violations to the Constitution, which would constitute betrayal of public trust. Why? Number one example is them surrendering Tatay Digong to The Hague. And this is where the contributions of Amy Marcos are needed. Because Amy Marcos is the current chairperson of the Committee on Foreign Relations sa Senate, and she is the one who investigated the conspiracy and the executions that have taken place when PRRD was brought to The Hague or was legally or unlawfully arrested by the ICC. Again, that's a classic example of that's a classic ground for impeaching a president guys, because it's a sovereignty issue na. So it's a culpable violation to the Constitution. So ganito din guys, kaya na-appreciate, kaya I promoted Amy recently. It's because guys, the laws and the constitutional provisions that she mentioned are really the basis for BBM to be kicked out from Malacanang. Marami from sugar importation, may na. And you remember one time when VP Sara had her press conference, di ba sinabi niya, I have 5 impeachable offenses on my hand that BBM has committed. It's just so happened guys na we don't have the numbers in the House of Representatives yet. That's why if we file that, if we, for example, ako as a citizen, if I'll stand by VP Sara to file that, tapos to get it endorsed by a certain lawmaker, it would be hard because I won't get the vote of our congressmen, of our representatives. Walang vote yan. Pero ngayon nga guys, nag-shuffle na yan sa House of Representatives. So there's a big chance for us to push through with BBM's impeachment. So 2 tracks, either BBM by delicadeza would resign from his position because wala naman talaga siyang ginagawa. He's not acting like the president. He's acting like, the utusan ng president, parang ganyan. And second is impeachment talaga. Dapat mapaalis natin siya, matanggal natin siya. And now guys, it's very, very possible. Kaya nga, use your voice, huwag kayong matakot. Pag may nakita kayong mga anomalies, pag may nakita kayong mga controversies, magsalita kayo because that would help us out. If there is clamor coming from the people, guys, from the Filipinos, makikita yan. 'Di ba? Tapos pag makikita yan, na ganito pala talaga ang gusto ng Filipino masses, hindi niya matatapos yung termino niya. And it would be a very, very good point for us, mga Duterte supporters. Why? Because by line of succession under the Constitution, guys, it would be the Vice President who will become the President if the President gets impeached. Yun. Problem is, it's okay for him to look stupid as long as nakinabang siya sa pera ng taong bayan. Who are you pertaining ba? Attorney Marcoleta. Tama. I forgot to mention him kanina. Okay. Mabilis kasi yung akyat ng mga comments, guys. Nawawala siya. Tapos isa pa, guys, if nagbabasa kayo ng mga balita, kanina, it's reported by the Politico na si Toby Chanco, guys, siya yung campaign manager ng Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas. Si Toby Chanco is also like coming from the elite, from the elite family, from the elite background, parang ganyan. Tapos sinabi niya na one of the reasons why the admin slate fails to really allow their senatoriables to win, it's because the push of the impeachment case against VP Sara. Kasi nakikita nga nila na ang mga tao, the people are showing resistance sa impeachment case. So ayaw nila, parang ganyan. So because they are pushing it, so yung narrative ngayon, pumirma yan sa impeachment, magiging yan sa impeachment, kaya hindi namin iboto. And that's the reason why wala, guys, sa political party ni BBM ang nanalo. Tingnan nyo yung result. Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Benhur Abalos, sino pa ba? Hindi nanalo. Wala talaga. Sa Lakas CMD, merong isa na nakapasok. Erwin Tulfo. Siya lang. Sino ang anong political party ang maraming nanalo, guys? Political party ni Manny Villar. The Nationalista Party. Camille, Pia Cayetano, and Amy Marcos. 3. 2 sa PDP, but since adopted si Marcoleta, 3. Sino ang may numero ngayon? Tayo. And yung 3, guys, sa political party ni Manny Villar, sa Nationalista Party, NP, ni Manny Villar, 2 are endorsed by VP Sara, Amy and Camille. That's why in my posts, guys, my recent posts, I've been telling you na we should really bank on those candidates that are very, very winnable because it would be very beneficial to us. Yeah. So kaya yan yun. And ano pa ba? Impeachment, Dilimas case. Ano ba? Ito pa. Yung free tuition fee